Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is a new day indeed. And because it's a
Mm-hmm.
new day, that means we are one more day closer to training camp. So y'all know what time it is. Look, I need everybody to bring in their wandering minds. This is a spur of the moment, if you will, but it is definitely a linking of the minds,
Mm,
a linking of the spirits, a linking of the vibe. This
mm.
is Big Time and Amp, better known as the BTA Podcast.
Yes,
Y'all
sir.
come on in. While you are coming in, go ahead and please, 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 and thank you. Go ahead and share this.
Please.
You are going to want to hear this one. This is just based off of the general conversation alone and the topic that will be at hand. You are definitely going to want to catch this. Big Time, how you doing, dog?
Man, we in the house, man. Always a pleasure to be with you and to all of you that are jumping into the chat now. Come on in, say something to us so that we can recognize you, share it, do something. Put it in the cowboy groups. Let everybody know that we're on. We're ready to rock. We got some things to talk about. As we know, things are about to heat up. Training camp is just, it'll be here before you know it. It's going to be a lot of content, as you guys know, with us and our individual shows. And then, of course, here we come collectively and we're going to go ahead and get things right. So, again, always good to hang with my boy Amp. Always a pleasure. Show is never dull when we together. It's always on fire, and I expect nothing different.
Chemistry.
Yeah, the chemistry is in the building. We're gonna do what we do, and we're gonna do it to the best of our ability and let the chips fall where they may. It's just that simple.
So, since you said that, see, that's we just able to feed off each other like that. Since
Mm,
you said, let the chips fall where they may, right?
yeah.
You know, and I am. This is not a revisit of what occurred. If you want to watch and observe what occurred last night with DC Universe and the clash of the Titans between Team Trenches and Team Weapons, guess what? I encourage you to go on everybody's channel and, as the pastor would say, see it for yourself. Okay.
See it for yourself.
But what I will say is just using last night as an example, right?
Hmm.
Oftentimes in Cowboy Nation, after things do not go the way we would have liked for it to the previous season,
Yeah.
we get to looking for answers.
Mm-hmm.
And
You
we
better.
look for answers in a whole lot of different places, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll look at coaching. We'll look at player, personnel. We'll look at the scouting department. We'll look at play calling. We will look at so many different things. And
Yeah.
by looking at these things, everybody is blessed to have their own set of eyes and ears. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And God gave us two of each of them for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But when we see and we hear, we don't always hear and see the same things.
No.
Don't always come to the same conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
However, as much as we look, as many places as we look,
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of times we try to come to a conclusion, if you will, come to an answer for this equation with missing variables. Okay. For
Mm.
my mathematicians out there, look, if you
Mm-hmm.
were solving for X, there are certain variables, certain denominators that need to be present in
Yeah.
order for the solving to occur. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the biggest flashing light
Mm-hmm.
is not what it should be.
Yeah.
I believe that Stephen and Jerry Jones
Mm-hmm.
manipulate things in a way to where
Mm-hmm.
every single solitary season they
Mm-hmm.
have what I call a scapegoat. Would you not agree, big time?
It's the gospel. It's the truth. Is how can you solve a problem when you don't include the variable? So let's go back to last season, and all of you in the chat, appreciate all y'all comments already. I see a lot of you, appreciate all of y'all. Listen to me. Last year, if you was to take a poll, and if you remember the talk last year, the total blame went to Coach Eberflus. That's where the blame went. We got a great offense. We had a defense. Eberflus messed this season up. Eberflus, stubbornness. Eberflus, Eberflus. That's all you kept hearing. Eberflus, Eberflus.
Marsha,
Before
Marsha,
then,
Marsha.
but yeah, exactly. Before then, Dan Quinn wasn't prepared. Dan Quinn wasn't prepared. Dan Quinn don't know how to play the physical offenses and all that. Before then, Kellen Moore
Come
is
on now.
too.
Come on, keep
Kellen
rolling
Moore is
now. Keep
too.
rolling.
Kellen Moore is too finesse. He's not this and he's not that. Yes, those are variables, but you're leaving out the main variable to get the problem solved. It's Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. That is the common denominator that connects everything. No matter who the coach was, we'll go all the way back to Jason Garrett, 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, 8. But the common denominator was Jerry Stephen Jones would not fire him. They want to keep him there. Is that so? How can we really give an honest assessment of the Cowboys without including Jerry and Stephen Jones? That is the problem with the common denominator. If you're gonna blame Eberflus, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back to when Eberflus first got to Dallas. Was not Eberflus hired before Brian Schottenheimer was fired? Hello. Everybody forgot that, right? I didn't forget it. So if you're really blaming Eberflus, shouldn't you be blaming Jerry Jones? I ain't got to stick with calling anybody else's name out. I'll just stick with that. It's Jerry who this mindset that has, in some shape or form, gotten in the way, or it's the mentality of building the team like Steven. In some shape or form, it has gotten in the way. And so you got to give credit. The old saying is, you got to give credit where credit is due. Well, you got to give blame the same way. Exactly, Darrell Brownlee. You know where I'm going with all this because my everybody done heard me say it for years. And until we really address the real issue at hand, we're gonna really have these same problems. Has it improved? Maybe a little bit so far this year, but we ain't started the season yet. So has it gotten in the way? Yes, to me, because I just stick with what you heard, some of the stuff you heard last night about edge rush. Okay, well, if you want edge rush, then maybe the mentality of Steven and Jerry have messed this up again by their cheapness of saying, hey, we're gonna go with the young guys. And it really just depends on where you stand. So yes, you cannot solve a problem without having the correct variables involved. You got to include Jerry and Steven. And I just say it's their mindset. You got to include that mindset into this whole season. Last season and coming to this season, we'll see how things are going, but they are the root, if you ask me now. They are the root of the problem that we've been having. It's a 30-year problem, however many years you want to say it. It is what it is, man.
It's to me it's disheartening because when you look, what's good? See, salute to you, man.
What's up now?
When you look at when you look at the Joneses, I'm gonna put this disclaimer out there. This ain't Debbie Downer. This ain't just want to be complaining. This is not that. But in order to ever get better, you have to address your flaws.
There
And
you
that's
go.
why that is the title of this show. I was just sitting back thinking, just pondering on, loosely how things have unfolded for us in a many different ways. But then I'm
Yeah,
like, but these brothers done been around, what I'm saying, pretty much not all my life, but the majority of my life.
yeah.
And the frustrating part is they've had success.
There you
They
go.
know what it looks like, smells like, tastes like, feels like. They know that experience. And you still have some owners who have been out here chasing their first experience just as long as Jerry and Steven have been, waiting to come back to that table and eat. So
Yeah,
when I look at it, I said, man, I feel like it's really a lot of areas where we drop the ball. And like I said in the opening, I feel like us as fans, end up getting into it with one another instead of working together to get to the ultimate common denominator. I don't think they get enough attention now. I will say they do a masterful job in a lot of areas. In a lot of areas. They have a winning formula for the successful business side of things.
hmm
But when you look at football, it's some cobwebs on that thing. And they've strayed so far away. They'll get close to it. They'll be around it. They may show flashes of it, but then ultimately they revert back to what it is that got Jimmy Johnson up out of here, and that is their egos and as Frank Sinatra would say,
Yeah,
wanting to do things my way.
yeah.
And I think that's what trips them up season after season, wanting to do things their way so they can say, once it is done and completed, we did it our way.
Yeah,
That's what they're chasing. And by doing that and having other priorities,
yeah.
it makes me feel like you cool with just being relevant.
There you go. And to go deeper, because now it goes up to a deeper conversation. The question then is why? I heard you say season after season. All right. Okay. Then why is it season after season? And you can't help but come to one conclusion. See, uh, when you're the owner and the GM, guess what? The owner is not going to fire the GM in this case, is he? So
Kind
the
of,
GM,
kind of a hard thing to do.
yeah. So guess what? So the GM, watch this. The GM, this GM, makes GM decisions that other GMs across the league would never make, such as if you know Leighton Vander Esch has neck problems from the get-go, and you know what position he plays. Don't common sense tell you that you may not, you need to let it, maybe just need to let them pass by. Come here. Come here. I got some more for you. Come here. If Jalen Smith, if Jalen Smith has drop knee, drop foot, why are we trying to make $1 out of 15 cents?
Bro, you talking about somebody who, you know, my
I'm
mother deals with drop foot, so I've actually seen what it does to you in
come on, man.
person. And to be mobile the way that position, first off,
Come on.
really any position in football, but especially that one when majority of your activity is movement in multiple directions
Okay.
at the snap of a finger,
Okay.
and you got to you like this. No, you're not being funny, but it's literally drop foot, and you can't plant and embrace the way you need to, and you
But
cool with that.
other GMs would have got fired for even making that decision. That's what I'm saying. Come here. I ain't through. Come here. Why did we have to wait 3 years for Mozzie Smith? Why? Other GLs would have said, "No, you ain't you can't play Mozzie. You're not that." Why would we go? Why would GMs if why would GM pick Taco Charlton over Mr. White?
Oh no. No, 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 no,
See,
no,
when
no.
you're the owner and GM, you get to make those decisions. You see what I'm saying? Other GMs would have lost their job years ago.
Yeah.
We the Cowboys believe in red shirting guys.
Hmm.
Why do you look? Let's just stick with that. Why
Unless
do
it's the
we
show
all
pony. Unless it's the
yes?
show pony.
Why do we always have to pick red shirt players out the draft? Siobhan Reveal. Why do we always pick these guys like this? Other GMs wouldn't even put that on the dance floor.
But
They wouldn't. They wouldn't. Come on,
they
man.
sound like Cash Money in them. Give me a project chick.
You see what I'm saying?
They
And,
love a project, man.
and so again, that is a problem. Which also, if we go a little bit deeper, well, here
Come
we go.
on, I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
Here we
Please say
go.
it.
Which means you really don't have no urgency to build the team the way that you want to build it, the way it need to be built. Why? Okay, I understand. I'm not, if we don't get Crosby or, what I'm saying, I'm cool with that. But why would you settle for and I know there's gonna be an argument. You gotta go with young guys like that. But I done seen world championships in the last 4 5 years with organizations that have stacked the deck. We want to go straight to the draft. We want to get Chick-fil-A free agents from the bottom of the barrel and say we ready to play football. Now that I'm just saying when you add it all up, why didn't you fire Jason Garrett? Why? He didn't produce three straight years. Last game of the season, you can win the NFC East. You didn't win neither one, and you kept your job for an additional 2 or 3 years. Give me a break. I'm like, why? But see, when the owner and the GM are the same person, you'll make decisions like that. But if you had an
No
owner,
accountability.
no, it's no accountability to the man in the mirror. So you'll struggle for years. You'll just do, as you just said before, you'll do just enough to stay relevant. And that's where the real problem is. And it goes back to what many of you have said in the chat, many content creators have said, we need a GM. It's just the bottom line, man. We need a GM that's going to make the right decisions, know what to do with the salary cap, know how to make moves, know how to manipulate the salary cap in a way that can still benefit the team, that we can stack the deck. Instead, we got Steven, who concentrates on trying to be the salary cap champion of the world.
Yes, sir.
That's not how you're not winning. So again, to sum it up, that common denominator. When you got the owner and GM as the same person, chances are you're not gonna make the decisions, plural,
Yep.
that is gonna make the team make that Super Bowl type hump. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep. Like, ooh, good. But boy, Daryl, you coming with it today, sir. He
What you
said he
say?
doesn't want to answer to anyone.
That
That's
man,
it. That's that accountability. And I thought you was gonna go there, but I'm
you go
definitely gonna
there.
take it there.
Okay.
So you were talking about the project chicks, no disrespect to the individuals that we speaking about. Yeah, I still got a autograph photo of Jalen hanging up right here. Y'all can't see it, but um, just in general, right? Okay, present time. I think it's sad that we have not deemed or solidified a green dot at this point. Okay, that's
Mm-hmm.
current, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then the other side is when you really go back and look at it,
Yeah.
it's been a long time since we have invested in a premium middle linebacker.
Mm.
It's been a while. We have tried to patch that hole in the road for a long time. And last year it got to the size of a pothole that would have tore your frame up. You know what I'm saying? That's just how big it was, and that even that within itself was a byproduct of what you just heard Big Time talk about. The fact that you choose your defensive coordinator. That's not a decision you left for your coach.
There you go.
That see that's a byproduct.
Mm-hmm.
So again, right now we're talking about the common denominator. We're going to the root, and the root is you chose your guy
Mm-hmm.
that chose his guys, but
Mm-hmm.
they were not the best guys. That's the problem.
Mediocre.
And if we're about winning, there you go. If we're
Mm-hmm.
about winning and we're about supremacy, that's the
Mm-hmm.
other part that I wanted to focus on. If we focus on supremacy and trying to be the best, you cannot have supremacy and relevancy together. They don't mix. That's oil and water. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like right now, based off of their actions, the Jones family is settling for relevancy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we 12-5. Okay, we won our division. Okay, cool. We sold a lot of tickets. We made a lot of money. And I
Mm-hmm.
said this. I said this off camera on yesterday, but when I was talking, I said, "See, the real thing is, nowadays when you go to a store, convenience store, or whatever, and it's time for payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
They ask you one question: cash or card."
Mm.
They ask you cash or card. We all get that question, and we know why we get that question because the person behind the counter, the business owner, will prefer the cash over the card, so much so that they attach on a service fee for processing said card.
Yeah.
They prefer the cash, just like the Jones family prefers the cash. What do I mean by that? I mean by this: the tickets, the merchandise revenue, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That's cash.
Mm-hmm.
That's now. You
Mm-hmm.
get that by the type of product you put on the field,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily the result of what happens on said field.
Mm-hmm.
Versus the credit. See, the
Yeah.
credit is okay. Well, we know we can because I'm giving credit to my dog. Boss said it. He said, "Man, a lot of times you've heard them admit about kickback from money generated because of said controversy.
Yeah.
This might be one of the quietest off seasons we had, but it still ain't quiet.
No.
We still talking about GP. I would love to just have a training camp like the Tennessee Titans, or
Yeah.
the Jacksonville Jaguars, where it's just, guess what? We down to business. We talking football. We not giving to you too much. We not in your face every other day with a press conference just so you can see my face and I can be the face of the franchise. The priorities are in a different place. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this could be the gray that is starting to come in my beard. This could be the maturity. This could be whatever you want to call it, old man syndrome, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not worried about those flashy things anymore.
Yeah.
The trinkets and all of that is cool. It was hot back then. It's not hot now.
Mm-hmm.
I want that jewelry that's not gonna tarnish. That jewelry that you put in a trophy case. The
Yeah.
jewelry that you see over my shoulder. 5 of them.
Yeah.
That's what I want. But I feel like that's credit. So you don't get immediately cash. You don't get immediate cash with that. That's on the card. That's a down the road situation. So I just want them to change their philosophy, and this can kind of roll into the next topic of how they manage things, how they manage this team. We kind of tiptoed on it in the last segment, but how they manage the team, in my opinion, is great in some instances, and it's not so great in some instances. You know, you do things like, and a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but I felt it in my gut because I said this last night. The pocketbook and the purse was available last year, and
Mm-hmm.
guess what? Even after Tyler Booker was drafted, and even though they didn't really draft a receiver
Yeah.
compared with CeeDee Lamb, they still went and got it.
Mm-hmm.
They still went and got it, and it worked for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, they'll do it sometimes, but I think in order to push and get to that 6, they have to be more consistent.
Yeah. I see you, Jeff. No, I mean I got it, but I didn't notice it. I'm kind of doing the show, so I didn't look at it. But I promise I will. Uh, and the reason why it's like that is because no matter where you are in life or whatever you do, the word priority comes into play.
Mm, mm.
And the Cowboys will show you where their priorities are based off of their actions. And so you don't have to dissect it, you just look and see what they have done. And that tells you where their priorities are. For instance, their way, and by now we all should know it by now, their way of building a team, for instance, is primarily through the draft. And somebody is going to say, well, that's the way it's supposed to be. That is a part of it, without a doubt. That is a part of it. It's a good equation. But I've seen, like I said, you can't tell me that the way of free agency does not work because we done seen over the last 5 to 6 years teams that have just said, forget the picks, forget the future. We want to win a world championship right now. What do you think the Rams doing? Let's just go ahead and say that. I know all of y'all saw Aaron Donald in the facility. You know why he there. You know why he there. When he saw Miles Garrett there, they heard him put that question right there. Man, you thinking about coming back? Of course he's coming back. You know it's gonna happen. Why is he coming back? One reason, one reason only. They are trying to win the World's Championship this season. The Super Bowl is in their home stadium. Hello. They
Man, when
are
you
trying to win. Why you think Matthew Stafford didn't retire? Hello. Why you think Nakua is going to be ready to go? Why you think Devontae Adams is probably going to be ready to go? Why you think Kyron Williams is still going to be the running back? The Rams are saying to everybody, we got Miles Garrett. Oh, we finna go and put this icing on the cake. Come here, Aaron Donald. Come here. Come on back in. And you don't think, and some of y'all still instead of saying, well, we got first round picks in 2028. And We don't need to trade that away from all. Man, the Rams said we don't care nothing about no draft. We don't care nothing about it. We only think we got one goal. While the Cowboys are talking about the NFC East or hope to make the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
the LA Rams have only one sentence this season: Super Bowl champions. They ain't saying nothing about the NFC West. You ain't even heard that discussion. You ain't heard about no wild card. You ain't heard nothing about no divisional round. You ain't heard nothing about, hey, at least we can make the NFC championship game. A lot of y'all will be happy if the Cowboys make the NFC championship game and lose. Y'all be just as satisfied. Well, we can knock that off a third. The Rams are saying, look, listen, everything we're doing is for one goal. February the 14th, 2027, in SoFi Stadium, we are trying to win the Super Bowl. That's the only goal. Why you think Aaron Donald coming back? Until we get that type of mentality, we just gonna be doing our. So the priorities, when your priorities are not there, you'll be talking about we're gonna depend on our first round pick. We're gonna put all this pressure on Mr. Lawrence.
Yep.
We're gonna put that pressure on him. We're gonna put all this pressure on Caleb Downs. We're gonna put all this pressure on him. We need y'all to play up real quick. We need y'all to step it up real quick. Because we're not dipping in free agency like that. We're not gonna do that. We need y'all to step up. We need y'all to play like Pro Bowlers in your first year. We need y'all to play like all pros. Caleb Downs, I need you to play like an all pro this season. We're year one. I need you to do that. And this is where we are. And so the mentality is there. The mentality is, and we're going to hear a load of this. I can only imagine Jerry and Stephen Jones at press conference in Oxnard day one. Because it's time for them to show out. And I got to hear this crap all over again about all this and that. And to their credit, I want to be fair. So far, they have stepped out of the way as far as coaching staff is concerned.
Yeah.
Schottenheimer has done what he wanted to do. It's obvious that Christian Parker has hired his guys. Coaching staff is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the personnel, though, is where Jerry Stephen come to play. And this is where we always end up bumping heads.
See, so you keep doing it. It's perfect. God rest his soul, but my dad's fraternity brother and fifth grade teacher of mine, rest in peace to Mr. Green.
Mm-hmm.
He had this quote he used to say all the time, and he said, "We seal our fate by the choices and decisions that we make." And honestly, that's what happens. By the choices Jerry and Steven make, ultimately seals our outcome for that potential season.
Talk.
It either seals it or it makes it, one way or another, but it dictates what happens. Every single decision that they make, yeah, there are some things that you may be able to work around or overcome, but the majority is not.
Yeah.
You can maximize your effort, but at the end of the day, if you ain't got the guys, you ain't got the bodies, I'm sorry, you're not winning. It's just that simple. And you trying to be better than the man across the line from you at the end of the day. That's when you break it down to a simplicity. But they have stepped out of the way, and I am pleased on paper with the method to the madness and how they have constructed this defensive coaching staff. I like it. But for you to bring them on, and as Bill Parcells would say, let them cook, but not let them purchase the ingredients, to me that says one big thing.
Yeah.
And that leads us to our next topic.
Before you go to that, let me get this. Ladies and gentlemen, for those that helped pray for Brian Smith on our show maybe about 3 or 4 shows ago, there's a report. And all thing that we can say is hallelujah and thank you, Jesus. The Lord is a healer. Y'all see that? So those of you that are wondering, you may be going through your situations right now. You see that right there, Brian. Man, look, we got reason to celebrate, man. They removed all the cancer from his body. He had, and now he's looking at us. So obviously, you had surgery this morning or some type of surgery. God is a healer. He proves it once again. And see, at some point, for those that may be struggling with their belief, uh, you need just testimonies to get you over. It's right there for you. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that up just for a second. It says the doctors removed all. Did y'all see that word? All of my cancer this morning. All, which means he does not have it at the moment. And so for this moment, we say thank you, Lord. We thank you for being a healer. For my brother Brian, you are so good. We thank you that you're still here. Thank you for working through the doctors, the knowledge that they have. Thank you, God, for that. Thank you for my brother that he's able to go back home to his family. Do y'all hear that? Can you imagine the torture that he had with his family and they know what was going on? And now can you imagine, at least for this moment, the relief, that the stress that has left because of the Lord doing what he does. He heals. That's what he does, and that is the truth. So, Brian, I celebrate you on the day. Man, you done gave me you done juiced up my back. I'm ready to go preach.
Man, look here. So
I'm ready to go preach.
You know it. You know this on a personal level. That struck a nerve for me, y'all.
I know, because talking.
Those that know, I can't even sit on this. Football can wait right now. It struck a nerve for me because I just got done dealing with the same thing.
Yeah.
My own house, my own family. Those that don't know, my wife battled stage 3 breast cancer.
There you go.
You talking about a house with 2 toddlers, man, and it was a test. It was a major test, probably one of the largest tests I've had in my life, but it struck a nerve because we now share the same testimony. My wife went through a surgery after treatment where all of it is removed. I thank God for that.
Yeah, man.
I thank God. I honestly and truthfully, this podcast is happening right now at this time because of a testimony.
Yeah.
I was on my way to work this morning. My wife and I was driving. Young lady was coming flying like a bat out of you know what. Yeah. And it was the covering. It was God's hand on us that spared us, because had my reaction not occurred at the time that it did, the entire front end was going to be torn off. My wife would have probably had her door and her side smashed in. That's how bad it could have been.
Yeah. And
so I called big time today to share that testimony. That's how I started our conversation, by saying God is great. This ain't no cap, y'all. I started the convo by saying that. And I didn't just do that because of who he is. He's a bishop. I do that to share because, again, you never know what somebody else is going through.
Never know.
My wife went to a follow-up appointment last week. And guess what, y'all? The individual who was the physician assistant, who during chemo treatment would come and sit with us and say, you know, hey, how are things going? How you feeling? How's your body? Yada, 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 right? Just to see what areas she may need to address.
Yeah.
Come to find out, she said, oh, I just got back. And I'm thinking the time of year is for vacation or something, right? No, that woman had just got done dealing with renal failure. She required a kidney transplant and was blessed to get one from her husband. But my wife and I had no idea about it because she was still showing up on a daily basis, even though she was in the midst of her own storm. So I said all that to say this: you never know what somebody is going through. Some of us handle it better than others. Some of us handle it with grace. Some of us not so much. But guess what? Like Planet Fitness, y'all, this is a judgment-free zone, because at the end of the day, I even had this conversation with my 3-year-old son last night.
Mm.
It is about getting a little bit better every day. You hear Law talk about getting better 1% every day. That's why we're doing this podcast. That's why we're talking about the common denominator in Jerry and Stephen Jones, because we don't want them to be comfortable being relevant. Okay?
Wow.
We want them to push to be better, because ultimately, when you continue that upward push, that's how you get closer to your ultimate goal. And for us as Cowboy fans, that is 6.
It's 6. It's incredible. It's incredible. Now look what's going on here. Look at the chat. So now it's gone completely. It's turned into testimony service. Daryl, my wife. Listen to what Daryl says. My wife has been cancer free for almost 3 years. God is so good and worthy of all the praise. Look at it. Look at this. Look at this. This Michael guy. Michael Cook says, pray for my mom's stage 2 triple negative breast cancer at 72. I'm broken. I'm 47-year-old man. Pray for my mom's, not me, please. Michael Cook, I can just stop right there. Let me get back. Michael, I'm coming back to you in just a second. See, this thing done turned the phone amp. He said, early in the spring, my wife had a tumor taken off her lung.
Jesus.
Look at Jeff. Come on, man. Michael Cook, you thought you were coming on here to watch us talk about the Cowboys. And we didn't, this was not playing. It's just my brother Brian came on here and just done messed us all up.
Yeah,
and now what, Brian, the reason why you're here, Brian, listen to me and Michael Cook, is not because of the prayer. The reason why you're here is for you to scroll up and see the testimonies of what God has done and what he will do.
Yes, sir.
That's why you're here. So if you don't mind, just go up and look. Cancer is it doesn't necessarily have to be a death notice. It's just a stepping stone to show God power in his healing. And so, let me pray real quick, if you don't mind, man.
Right before you go, I just want to say this.
So,
my dad and I have had this conversation multiple times recently.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, we say we pray, and those who might not have a solid, strong relationship with God, right? Mm-hmm. They may say, I prayed, but I still got cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to share with you on today that the weapon will form. But he said it won't prosper.
There you go.
That don't mean we won't be tried and tested. That don't mean we won't have a storm, but guess what? All storms at some point in time will run out of water. You hear me?
That's real.
So again, it will form, but as Big Time gets ready to lead us in prayer, he's going to make a prayer that it will not prosper. Big Time, you got it, dog.
Oh, God, we say thank you now. We thank you for this time. We thank you for this moment. We thank you for this moment that for us to share your glory and share about your healing power, share that you're doing what you have done for so many others, even some that are right here in this chat now. Maybe it's for those that may be looking at this later on who are going through their personal storms at the moment. God, we believe you now because the evidence is there that you are a healer. We believe you now in the case of we lift up our brother Michael Cook right now. We lift up his mother who has this disease. But we know by your word, it says that you heal all manner of disease. You told us that there's a name above every name. So we speak the name Jesus now over the name cancer. Because at the name of Jesus, everything has to fall. And so cancer has to fall. Any sign has to fall. And even though God, that this may be true, that she has cancer, cancer does not have her. We still lift up the name Jesus now. That's saying that we claim healing now. We claim a peaceful night rest. We claim that anxiety will be broken.
Yes,
we
God.
claim that stress levels will come down. And we do that in the name of Jesus. We do that now in the name of Jesus. We lift up this family, Michael Cook's family now, that they will be a support for them, that we realize who you are, God. We realize you've proven it here just in this chat. You proving who you are in this chat. We ask you now to do it for his mother now. We ask you to do it now. We don't care what stage it's in. You can handle any stage, whatever the stage is. Stage 1, 3 through 5, it makes no difference. You can do it for us right now. So we lift up Michael Cook's mother now, and we say now that healing will take place. You told us that death and life are in the power of the tongue. So we use our tongue now to speak life. We speak life to her body. We claim it right now in Jesus' name. Amen. Michael Cook, brother, thank you for popping in on us, man. Guess it's going to be all right, man. The same way that Brian Smith came in and gave a report, I need you to come back in this show and give us that report.
Yes, sir.
So watch how God do it for you, man. We believe it. Now, it's going to be hard for us to get back to the show because that's how God do us. For some
Boy,
reason.
look here.
That's how God do
Completely
it. We
unscripted.
get it like this. Yeah, it is.
But guess what? It was meant to be.
Yeah.
It was definitely meant to be. And that, I'm telling y'all, you know, big time even tell you, I just been dealing with some things in my own personal life and in my spiritual walk. And this ain't nothing. Hold on. This hat ain't just nothing that looks good or whatever. I say make America's team great again. Y'all know how I end the shows when I end with my line. Good, better, best, never let it rest. That I say, but it's also how I live. I told Big Time earlier before I went live last night, when we got home yesterday on two separate occasions between both of my children, I had to discipline them because of their attitude. Yeah. And I said, you all are too intelligent, too loving, too caring and all of that to be having this nasty attitude because you reap the seeds that you sow. And guess what? Just a week ago when we went to visit Jacksonville, an individual who does not look like us saw how they were behaving, went in their pocket and pulled out cash money, as I just talked about earlier in regards to Jerry, pulled out cash and handed it to them because they said, I love the way that they are. It is apparent that they are being raised the right way. That was a pat on the back to me. And sometimes as parents, we need it every now and then. But I told them, I said, let your attitude be better. And that was when we first got home. Last night when I gave them hugs and kisses before I stepped out here to go live, unprompted, my son came to me and said, Daddy, I'm gonna be better tomorrow. I'm not gonna have an attitude. I'm gonna be good. I didn't ask him that. But guess what? It was still on his mind. It was still pressing. It was still weighing on him that what I did today was not acceptable, but tomorrow I'm going to be better. Guess what? That don't just apply in this household. Guess what? That just don't apply out in life. Guess what? That don't apply to just the football field, but it also applies to our spiritual lives, y'all. This thing is real. And when you elevate and push yourself and constantly you're striving to be better, guess what? You're going to have some defenders who going to line up against you and going to want to tear your head off. But that's why you get into your word. That's your workout. That is your work. That's how you get that strength to help carry you through them tough times. Just like when we get toward the end of the season and we battling for a potential playoff spot, you got to lean back on those moments. Guess what? It was those same moments that I had to lean back on at some point in time during my storm last year. I said, nah, God said it's going to form. It's not going to prosper. Sometimes, like the song says, you got to encourage yourself.
There you go.
Sometimes you might not have nobody to call, pick up the phone, and they be a pick-me-up. Sometimes you got to do it for self. And guess what? This is something that I look for in a Cowboy. I look for somebody who is going to instill it in themselves. Whether he makes the team or not, whether he elevates in position, that's what I love to hear about when I hear stories about Phil Maffa more recently being one of the first ones in and one of the last ones out because he was not comfortable where he was on yesterday, like my son, but he is vowing and stating and making the sacrifices to be better tomorrow. That's how you get to good, better, best. That's how you elevate. And that's all we're saying. You know, Big Time talked about the equation earlier. and just how you got to take accountability. I'm teaching my son at a very early age, be accountable for your actions. And I don't see that enough coming from the Jones family.
No, the urgency is not there, and it hadn't been there in a very long time. It has not been in a long time, and that will affect you on the football field. Uh, when Mike McCarthy, I believe, 12 and 5, 3 straight years.
3 straight years.
Common sense should have told you that all you needed was that one more player that can get you over the hump of 12 and 5. Give me the 13 and 4. That's probably home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Or 14 and 2 or whatever.
First
14
round
and 3. First round, but that's all it took. But instead, you got locked in on your way instead of changing as the time keep moving. You want to stay the same. You want to do it your way, which is the problem of Jerry and Steven. They want to be the smartest people in the room. They want to prove and say we did it our way. And the real truth of the matter is you never done it your way. Because when you won, it was Jimmy's way. You got out of the way. And Jimmy Johnson did that. Even when Switzer took over, it was Jimmy's team. By then, the culture was winning. That they really didn't need almost a head coach.
That seed was already in the ground.
It was in their hearts. They knew what to do. They didn't need it. All they just needed just a guy that can motivate them. They knew what to do. But Jerry, the real truth of the matter is, when Steven and Jerry are out of the way, Jimmy won those world championships. Switzer, I give him credit. You go a whole season, you had to do something. He won the championship.
They really owe Jimmy Johnson another championship ring.
That was his team. That was his team. Come on now. But listen, Jerry and Steven haven't won absolutely nothing. So their way, I mean, it depends depending on what your priorities are. If your priority is that you're going to be the biggest franchise in the world, you did that. You did that now. We give you credit for that. If that's your priority. But as far as winning goes, we ain't got nothing to talk about. Absolutely nothing. We ain't got nothing to talk about. We limited now to talk about how many people we sent to the Pro Bowl. And how many All-Pros we got. That's what we didn't win, but look how many All-Pros we got. Yeah, we didn't win, but look how many Pro Bowlers we got. And I'm like, that ain't worth a hill of beans, man. I mean, what are we talking about? If you want the world's championship, if you want that parade to be in Dallas, if you want that banner to finally go up in that building, there are some things that you have to do that are going to go contrary to the way that your mindset is. You're gonna have to do it in order to get to that's what most teams, matter of fact, most teams happen. I'm sorry. The Rams from a couple years ago, the Buccaneers when they brought in Tom Brady, those teams, I guess somebody will argue and say, well, look what Seattle did. Okay, they had a defense of B+ players. Everybody. They have these superstars.
You got to be transformed by the renewing of your mind, right?
Doc.
Oh, okay.
I mean, but the Rams and the Buccaneers said, man, look, we know that you're supposed to build through the draft, but we going to build the draft. We just going to draft in the 5th round or the 4th round. We don't care nothing about these first round picks.
AKA F them picks.
Exactly. We don't care nothing about it. We trying to win the world championship this season. Well, you going to say, well, y'all just going to win this season, and then you're going to go into oblivion. The Rams ain't went into oblivion. When did the Rams go into oblivion? The Buccaneers didn't really go into oblivion even after Tom Brady. Hello. Yeah, they could have used first round draft picks, but guess what? They accomplished the goal. They got a banner hanging in their stadium That
And
can't be taken down.
I think this is where the pride comes in big time because excuse me, I believe the Jones family, if they push their chips into the center, I think they just don't want to crap out. I
Yeah,
think they are fearful of crapping out because, or if you get it and it comes to fruition like some people predict, then you just gonna fall off the face of the earth. I
yeah,
think their internal fight for the lack of relevancy after
yeah,
is what is a tug of war with them. And like we talked about earlier, I really believe that Jerry and Steven have two personalities present at all time. It's just a matter of which one steps foot forward.
yeah, yeah.
And what
And,
we
and
just see in step forward is the one that wants them to be relevant.
and I respect you, Jay Bryant, as always. That's my brother Jay Bryant there. And Michael Cook, appreciate that follow. Do me a favor and go follow my guy Amp Sports. I'll take this comment down so you can see it. Go follow him as well. Jay, I respect that because you're not wrong when you said that. You're not wrong at all. And actually, I agree with it. We were top heavy, but my point is get even more top heavier. Go get you a guy that you can pair up with Michael Parsons that get you 10 plus sacks or 13, 15 sacks. Go do it. You know what I'm saying? It's a good possibility it may work. Why do we have to have Brandon Cooks? Why did we have to wait to go get George Pickens? See the difference? You know what I'm saying? Give me a coordinator that wants to run the ball. I was so ticked off when I used to go see Ezekiel Elliott have 12 carries for the game and Tony Pollard just had 5.
Collectively, they don't even have 20.
Don't even collectively don't have 20. Come on, man. I'm just saying it's the mentality. You go give me a great running back, or if you don't, I'm just saying it's certain things that we could have done. If you didn't like your lineman, we were struggling in lineman. Go on, spend that money. Y'all love linemen. Go on, get you the best tackle in the league, or the best tackle free agent. Go there. Forget all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to win now. Everybody's stacking the deck now. That's what the Rams getting ready to do when Aaron Donald comes.
Look, y'all, look. Let's be completely honest. See, you opening up a whole nother can of worms, big time. Let's be completely honest, y'all. We lucked into Tony Romo and we lucked into Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
It was never intended for neither one of those guys to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what had to happen for Tony Romo to get into his, Look at what happened for Dak Prescott. How many people had to get hurt for us to even really see Dak Prescott like that, for him to get that opportunity?
Yeah.
And then when he got it, he seized the moment so good to the fact that it put Tony Romo to bed. But we lucked, let's be real, we lucked up on those two.
Yeah.
And look how rare of a player you got.
Stop it. You're not trying to say that Romo and Prescott have covered up for the mistakes of Jerry and Stephen Jones? Are you saying that?
Common denominator.
Oh, wow.
It's CD, and I ain't talking about Lamb.
Even though they ain't won the Super Bowl, you're trying to say that they just those two alone and the way that they have carried, however way you want to say carried.
You take those two factors out of the equation, your final solution is significantly less than what it would have been. That's a +5 on both sides of the equation. Yes. And guess what? Because we looked into them, and because that's not a position that we've shown that we just go get what we want and what we need and it works for us, we have to look into that. So guess what? That means that, y'all, we only have a window for as long as we have said individual, because how long have they been struggling to find just a decent backup? Let's keep it a buck. And then when you look at that alone, You don't have, or you can't wait on 28th first round pick, 29's first round pick.
Yeah, and you can't also
Contracts are not forever.
Yeah, and you also can't be trading away picks for experimentation with a Trey Lance. Lord have mercy,
Bruh.
Come on, man. See that's the kind of stuff that will get you fired. That's the kind of stuff. When the owner and GM are the same person, the Trey Lance trades of the world come into play. See what I'm
That
saying?
your head coach knew nothing about until
That nobody know. This just what you wanted to do. You the same guy that wanted Johnny Manziel over Zach Martin. Come on, man.
It's quite a few examples that we can give
It's
y'all.
a lot of them. So I'm saying, did until that root gets addressed, it's gonna be kind of hard. See, we're in a position now. I've said this for years, and maybe we're here finally. Maybe we getting close. We are in a position where the coaching staff, combined with the personnel, has to be so great that it overrides Jerry and Stephen Jones and their mindset.
Oh Lord.
That's where we are. Because they're still gonna be cheap. They're still gonna be waiting on XFL players. They're still gonna sign bottom of the barrel free agents and add quote unquote depth to it. They're still gonna sell us on guys that really. They're still gonna hold on to Jonathan Mingos. They're still gonna hold on to Schoon Makers. They're still gonna do all of that and try to sell us that this is the team to go. And what is going to have to happen is Prescott, Pickens, Lamb, Quentin Williams, Caleb Downs. These guys are going to have to play above their head. That's going to override them not going to get more help or adequate free agency. Like Jay Bryan said, for depth. You don't have to be another Pro Bowler. You don't have to be another All-Pro. But go get me some Seattle-type guys. B+, B guys that's on there. Go give me those guys, and you can make up your depth like that. Don't have me shopping at Walmart for these Walmart free agents and the Salvation Army free agents and Jiffy Lube free agents and Toys R Us free agents, Cracker Jack free agents. I'm sick of this mess. I'm sick of going there.
I said it last night. Some people felt me, some people didn't, but it's popular right now. It's reaching content platforms all over the place. But she has one of the hottest secular records right now. But Young Miami, I just be wanting Jerry and Steven to spin that. You know what I'm saying? I just be wanting them to spin that, man. Whatever you got to do. If you got to rob and boost. If you got to rob and boost Philadelphia, or if you got to rob and boost the Raiders, then do what you got to do. But spin that. That's what I be wanting from them, man. And I feel like they be holding back, bro.
Wow. Well, I'm glad I had that ice down. I would spit this thing out all this. Boy, that's crazy. Wow. Exactly. See, Burns, I like that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I love it, Seabird. This is what we do. I couldn't. That's a beautiful analogy right there. He said it's like we shop at Walmart for a steak, and it ain't no way. You can go to steak, get them little cube steaks. You know what I'm saying? Them little skinny little steaks.
Man,
it's there at Walmart.
Right. I worked in grocery retail. Look, whether it be meat, whether it be produce, anything that is perishable, guess what? It has a grade on it. And it is known, I read a merchandising magazine once upon a time, it is known that especially in produce, Walmart uses grade C product. That's why they can offer it so cheap. Because it don't cost them nothing, so they ain't gonna make it cost too much to you.
So the Cowboys, whenever you see XFL, And see the problem, you know what the problem is? The problem with the Cowboys is this, is that they have had success in messing with the USFL and the XFL. Devontae Turpin was the MVP of the USFL. Guess what? Came to the league, was all pro. So you can't tell them that going to the USFL don't work. You can't tell Jerry that.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Aubrey came from the XFL. The man been all pro ever since he stepped into the league.
Ever since.
You can't tell Jerry and Steven that the XFL don't work. You can't tell them they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But what they ain't telling you is they done struck out everywhere else in the XFL. That's the part. So they rolling the dice trying to catch lightning in a bottle every single year.
Right. To where it's habitual.
Exactly. So now we hold spots for at least two XFL players on our roster.
Yep.
Every year. Instead of filling them up and spending some money with a B+ player or a B player.
And guess what? We're not saying there's nothing wrong with that. That's cool. But don't let that method of location be primary.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we're saying. We're not
Don't let it be first choice.
Now, if you've been trying everywhere else and you tried all you could, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like, okay, last resort, okay, we know where we might be able to potentially find some guys, but don't start off with that. And I feel like a lot of, and they just, that's something you keep in your back pocket, a break glass in case of emergency type situation, to just know if I gotta have, and there is a depletion over here where I normally go, I know a secondary location I can go, or and I can get what I need. That's all we're saying. Yeah. But don't lead off with that. Come on, man.
Cowboy Joe says, hey, what's up, Nuke? Cowboy Joe says the owners are from Arkansas, which is the home.
Oh!
And the owner really wanted to buy the Chargers. If they own the Chargers, nobody cares. He said they looked up and bought the Cowboys. So we got some Walmart mentality on an owner that believes in all of a sudden now in cheap labor. It ain't used to be like that. Of course, there was no salary cap back.
We can definitely say Walmart is not going to be a sponsor of the BTA.
No, sir. We'll never get Walmart. What up, Noop? I see you, Tony, right? I got my frat brothers in. I got two Noops in the building. What's going on, Tony?
That's my best man, dog.
Tony Hill.
Yep.
That's your guy?
Best friend since 10th grade, man. And shot while he on, man, I missed the opportunity last night because I was a little discombobulated. But I want to wish a happy belated birthday to my brother. He celebrated his birthday on last year. Look, dog, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say it. I hope you don't mind me saying it, but we got to savor this year. We got to do something that we've been wanting the Jones family to do, bro. And that's honestly, we got to maximize opportunities. Yeah. This is the last year of our 30s, bro. And I'm going to just leave it at that. We could talk about the rest off camera. But again, happy belated birthday to my dog, man.
Happy birthday, Nuke. What's going on, man? Going on, shake them shoulders one time for me. You know take it from me. I'm 53, so I can't. I still got a little bit. But I got a little arthritis in me right now. So you know how that goes. but ladies and gentlemen, we don't want to poo-poo it. We're saying like, while we're concentrating on Christian Parker. I see Cowboy Joe. Let me see what Cowboy Joe was saying. Here you go.
God,
man. You know what? As aggressive, look, the priority with Mark Cuban.
That word again.
Was for him to win the World's Championship. It was nothing else.
All or nothing.
He won it, when they beat LeBron and Wade and Bosh. When they was heavy underdog. What was the difference? The difference was that they had a coaching staff. You understand? They had a coaching staff that figured out how to play them three guys. And they won the championship. It's really just that simple. But I'm saying you take the priorities, which I think we're gonna get into in a little bit. That's perfect. When we go in line, alignment is the word.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? It's the alignment. Anybody that's off the page of the way the alignment is supposed to be, you're going to have to pay the price some type of way in your organization for that. If your organization is not on the same page from top to bottom, you're going to have problems. Now, so far in the all season, other than player personnel, which is a big part, but as far as coaching staff, I believe the coaching staff is all on one page. I do. I believe the coaching staff. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. I believe that. I'm not so sure about Jerry and Steven on the page with the coaching staff. Because they're still saying they need this type of player, or they need this player. And Jerry and Steven, because of their mentality, say, nah, well, we can't do it. Let's just see how our first round pick goes. Let's depend on them heavily. That's not on the same page. And that's where we're going to have a slight issue.
We want fresh garlic, and they saying we good with garlic powder. That's what it is. And those of y'all who know me know I be in the kitchen. So again, it's a difference. You go to one of your favorite seafood places where they put the seafood in the bag, and they give you garlic powder versus actually fresh minced garlic. There is a significant difference. The only way you don't notice a difference is if you got a sorry palate. But that's another discussion. And I think, truth be told, I think Jerry and Steven need a tongue scraper because they've had so much talent over the years, and I think they really haven't gotten rid of some of that decay, and they thinking they could just lean on a couple of guys and be good. But when you look over your shoulder and you look at your competition, I said this last night, and this is where my frustration comes. I said, again, we going back to the common denominator and Steven and Jerry, right? And oftentimes they will pit us one against another, like you saw last night. But truth be told, the general push and the general consensus to be all or nothing, push all the chips in the middle of the table. Let's maximize the opportunity we have. Our time is not guaranteed with Dak Prescott. Our time is not guaranteed with CeeDee Lamb. So while we have these in our possession, let's add to. And let's do all we can to make this better, because guess what? Once you move on from this set of guys, then what next?
Yeah.
We're not always going to be able to have the level of content that of the level of players, the caliber that we have right now, always.
Yeah.
It is aligning for us, but we need to align with it. That's what you're talking about. Okay, so your head coach says he wants to be physical. Then guess what? Your decisions going forward need to align with that.
Yeah.
When your defensive coordinator has a vision for the defense, but he has to tone that back and he has to take it to the alteration shop and change it up a bit because you don't want to align with what he says, that's an issue. You got to think about it. This is from Nolan to Zim. Well, excuse me, from DQ's last year. Then you had Zim, and then you had Eberflus. This is our fourth defensive coordinator in 4 years.
Come on, man. That's that which represents instability.
Instability.
That's what that means.
Every year I got to learn a new philosophy, new techniques, new playbook, get chemistry with your guys.
Yeah.
That causes
and don't forget, with each coordinator goes in, with that means that the guys that were there before may not fit into the next coordinator's system. So now you got to get rid of those guys, and now you also now have to fill them with new guys.
Yes, sir.
You see what I'm saying? The Donovan Wilson.
You got to start all over.
You got to start all over again. Donovan Wilson gone. I mean, the list go on and on. Donovan Wilson. Look at all these guys that they just had to leave because they don't fit Parker's system.
And then what happens when Parker does come in? The players that we do retain, guess what? We're putting them at different positions again because I don't see you as the last brother saw you.
Bingo. I'm not a sponsor of you.
So now he got to change the way he plays the game, change his physique, change his build, change
learn a new
his responsibilities.
Learn a new position.
Guess what? That takes time.
It takes
And,
time.
and we bringing it back full circle. You
Yeah.
take it away from the time window that you currently have. That's all we trying to hit y'all with.
Yeah.
That's it. You got to be able to truly seize the moment.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying, give me some guys that can come in day one and go ahead and start lighting this thing up instead of experimenting for the first month. Yeah, eventually they gonna get it. The Leah Fowles. You know, if he's playing another position, he gonna get it eventually. But why I got to struggle? I got rookies who y'all gonna play. And I'm cool with it. I'm cool with Balham playing. I'm cool with it. But he a rookie. How come I can't get a vet line back in? How come I can't? So that we can go ahead and more than D winners. I'm talking about more than D winners. I want to come out the game. Look, the schedule does not allow us this season for experimentation.
Boy, what you talking about?
Do y'all hear what I just said? Do I need to go down the schedule for y'all again so y'all can see this? We can't afford that. We cannot afford to be experimenting. We can't.
Yep.
If you do, guess what? You're going to get off to a bad start. I mean, it's just that simple. You know, it really is. Everybody's learning on the fly, even though everybody's saying we're going to whoop the Giants. I would say we're going to whoop the Giants too the first game. I say we should come out with a win. But please keep in mind, that is Christian Parker's first game ever called.
Check it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Check it out. I already had it ready.
Oh, okay.
Check it out.
Let's just look at this. Y'all see it? Look, the Giants, you know, you figure well, but that's Christian Parker's first game as a coordinator.
Yes, sir.
First ever call as a coordinator. And we playing a new Giants team because Harbaugh is there now. I think we're going to beat the Giants. Okay, we got Washington. We know Washington. But then that Baltimore game, look. I ain't got to go game for game. Just look.
Look at that.
Look at this. I mean, as you can see, look at all this travel we got to do.
Look, just in numbers alone, right? Because this is, and shout out to the homie. I'm giving him credit for saying this because he definitely sparked my thought process. Shout out to Landlord.
Uh-huh.
He was saying, man, and we've referenced him a couple of times this show, but he said, man, look at the way that the Rams are loading the clip. You know what I'm saying? And basically he was punching a hole in our argument by saying we're trying to take away when all they're doing is adding. Great point. But I said, look at it. I said, let's take it a step further. I said, truth be told, every year generally, you know, you always say that you try to build your team to be the best in your division, win your division first. That's your first goal, right?
Yeah.
But when you look around, you don't really even hear that conversation. And I think the reason for that is because I think in our heads, we all feel like we got enough of what it takes to handle our division. I really believe that. But guess what? It don't stop there. When you look at the last 10 years of Super Bowl contenders and you look out at the NFC, outside of Philly, your next biggest nemesis is the NFC West.
No doubt.
We done been tripped up by
everybody.
We done got our brains bashed in by the Rams.
And the 49ers.
We done got smothered, shellacked by the 49ers. So it's like, and guess what? Schedule-wise, out of them 17 games, between your division and your NFC West opponents, guess what, y'all? That's 10 games.
Yes, sir.
Just that alone.
Yes,
So
sir.
guess what? Yeah, we need to be, aiming for to try to be better than the Rams, but it ain't just them, because guess what? The 49ers loading the clip and bringing back, what they feel is important.
Yeah. They got Mike Evans. They got Mike Evans.
Yes, sir.
Come on, man.
49ers and the Seahawks, the reigning champs, are doing it too.
Yeah.
So guess what? It's not going to be easy. And there's a stretch between Thanksgiving and December 20th, y'all. We play Philadelphia at home on Thanksgiving. Then our next game we're going to Seattle, and then the week, and then we got a bye week, and then right after that we going to the Rams. That is going to be a gauntlet. In years past, you used to could look at our schedule and be like, "Ooh, we got a nice little patch right here. We should be able to rip off a 4 to 5 game win streak easily." Guess what? I don't see that on this year's schedule.
Yeah, and to just go back what you said, Thanksgiving, which is the Philadelphia game. Those from Thanksgiving down to Jacksonville, guess what? Those are all last year 4 playoff teams.
Come on.
Those 4 games just might determine whether you're gonna be playing in the playoffs or you're gonna be sitting your butt down again at the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. And we don't really know what New York gonna be. They're gonna be better. Harbaugh is better. You're gonna have them playing with heart. New York is gonna be better. They just gonna start building. Who knows? They may get hot. Who knows? But those 4 games right there, that is exactly right what Elm said. That is a gauntlet. And above it is a gauntlet too, but I'm just saying, but those 4 games there, that's going to just about probably.
And you don't get the ease into the season either, because you got Baltimore and then Houston after you open up with the division, man. Come on, man.
No, that's why I was saying before. This schedule does not allow you to quote unquote get things right or try to figure
at
out.
Green Bay, at Philly, man. What?
Come on. Tampa's gonna be tough too.
Tampa
gonna be tough. Houston gonna be tough. I mean, why am I doing this? After the Washington game, look at those next 4 games. Well, excuse me, the next 5 games. Baltimore, Houston, Tampa,
Green
Bay,
and
then Philadelphia. Come on, man. I mean, you don't have no room for experimenting. You're gonna have to come out the gate rolling.
Yes, sir.
And so that goes back to what we were saying before, when you got what Am say, seize the day, seize the opportunity. You don't want to wait until the trade deadline to say, okay, we got to fix this. If you wait till the trade deadline, son, you might be just start preparing for the draft right now.
See, and that's why I have a problem with what they've done, because I said this, I think show before last, the collab with Boss Lou, Henny and Landlord, and I said, man, I really feel like the Joneses don't mind late fees. I really feel like they don't mind late fees, because you engage in contract talks a year or 2 after you should have. Truth be told, once we got Pickens here, he should have been signed. That's a whole nother conversation within itself. The way you played around and tag your franchise quarterback, no pun intended.
Yeah.
And it's been year after year where, truth be told, I really think we should go ahead and sign Quentin a little earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Get him out the way.
But again, that's the mentality. They never hardly do that.
Hardly ever.
They always let them get to the end of the rope.
Yes,
or
sir.
the contract go out. That's what majority. That's what they do. So again, and common sense, I'm sorry for disrespecting the Cardinals. While other teams beat the Cardinals' brains out,
tough,
they always give us major
facts.
So you right, common sense. They are, matter of fact, they beat us. They beat us. They bully us.
The last 2 or 3 times, right?
Yes, they bully us. I mean, if not, I'm talking about they whoop us. So you're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for any Arizona Cardinal fans. As far as the Cowboys go, we have a problem with the Arizona Cardinals, whether that's on the road or at home. It's the same thing. So I have no problem. I'm trying to get my camera right because it'll move if I don't. There we go. All right.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that. I won't.
No, you good. You good. See, and honestly, Eagles, Drew, you making our point. We said that. He said the Joneses don't move like us. That's how Howie Roseman moves, and we said that because of the fact that there's a zero lack of accountability because your owner and GM are one of the same individuals.
Same person.
And So who he gonna have to answer to? See,
Yeah,
Howie knows that he got the answer to what's his name, Jeff Lurie. He got
yeah.
to answer to him. So guess what? If he want to make sure that his butt is covered and he has a contract to come home to, he better get his act together and do what's right for the organization and not just how he feel and based off of ego and doing things his way.
Make it even more clear, man. Howard Roseman plays GM like he gonna lose his job.
Facts.
Jerry Jones know he gonna be there until he dies.
Who gonna put a fire on this butt?
Jerry know he's not losing his position unless he dies. That's it. That's the difference. Roseman go year by year.
Yep.
It's just like I heard yesterday about Philly. I heard that Sirianni is on the hot seat. The man just won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And now he's on the hot seat. AJ gone. Now he's on the hot seat. Which means usually if you fire the coach, usually the GM is not too far behind with that as well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how it plays and governs his team, like, I got to get it done right now. And if there was ever a general manager that probably should feel secure in his job, it probably should be Howard Roseman, because he's built that team, both sides of the ball, and they don't want Super Bowls.
He don't act like that.
He don't act like that. Jerry, on the other hand, I'm gonna be a cowboy until I die, and I'm like, you sure is gonna be one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's crazy, man.
Honestly and truthfully, it's I ain't shooting at nobody. This ain't no subliminals, no nothing like that. But honestly, sometimes in a lot of instances, you see that in the church.
Talk.
You have individuals who are shepherds of their flock, and they get up there in age, and don't want to turn it over. Just that you gonna have to you're gonna have to do what Carlton did to Will on that episode of Fresh Prince when they were playing basketball together for their high school, and Will started to smell himself, and he was showboating and taking all of the shots. And Carlton was like, bro, it's at the end of the game. And he literally wrestled the ball from his own cousin just so he can get a shot off.
Wow.
It shouldn't be like that.
Wow.
It should not be like that.
Wow.
He should be training up the next generation so he can hand these over and be able to comfortably watch from a distance. He's not doing that.
No.
And that's because, again, that position feeds him. It fuels him.
It keeps him relevant.
And it keeps him relevant. That's what he wants. That you brought it full circle.
Yeah. That's the problem.
What's your priority?
Priorities. Exactly. You want to win a world championship, you want to be the most valuable franchise in the world. I mean, right now, it's kind of obvious which one you want, because you're not making the necessary moves to get you to get you there. It is what it is. Okay. I don't know, Amber. I don't know. We got one more. We gonna talk about that last one, or we gonna roll out? I think we done covered that. What was the word that we used?
Alignment.
Alignment. Yeah. You want to roll with that? We cancel that.
Now we actually touched on it.
I thought we did. Yeah.
But I look at things and I look at mismanagement, and looking down at my clock, I'm over here on the East Coast. We are 24 hours and 8 minutes away from a big threshold. And if you've been under a rock and don't know what threshold I'm talking about the threshold and the final window to be able to extend George Pickens. Mm-hmm. Now, I found out after the fact, once we got off last night, somebody shared it on Twitter, but they had screen recorded the recent reel of yesterday from George Pickens. Mm-hmm. And it had music playing in the background or whatever, but it had him. It was an old clip. It had him in a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. Mm-hmm. It wasn't his Dallas stuff, so it seemed kind of cryptic at the time, but like we said and we alluded to on last night and even earlier in the show. And this is where we can kind of be that fire. Obviously, like we said, no other person on the staff is going to be able to light a fire under Brother Jones. Okay. However, the individuals who hold the dollars can. And that's why when we are unified, when we get real loud, we're unanimous and we push, that's how you end up with a George Pickens. Because, yeah, okay, a lot of us were happy about Booker, but we didn't stop there. And we united and joined forces. And we said, nah, we need something else. And guess what? We pushed it so hard and so fast, pause, as they say. It wasn't a situation like Amari where we had to wait to the trade deadline. That happened before the season, y'all.
Yeah.
So this is what I want y'all to understand. Yes, I know it's not common, but you cannot let the fact that it is not common or the fact that it is something that they do. You hear a lot of Cowboys fans. I've said it before myself too. So this is not a point the finger moment because I'm still pointing three back at myself. But when we unite and when we push and we are heavy on what it is that we believe, they still be listening, y'all. They still be listening. And when we express the fact that we are disgruntled and we need something, they make a push for it, y'all. We don't get Pickens unless we push the way that we did on last year. The man came to us before the season started. So guess what? We still feel like, you look around the roster, we still feel like it's some things we need. Let's continue to push.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I be creative all day long. And Boss is great at it too. Lou is great at it. The brothers, everybody is a creative when it comes to it, and guess what? I'm gonna ask y'all right now. I'm gonna say mine, but I'm gonna open up the chat to be able to put yours in there as well. Because guess what? Again, we were bringing this full circle. We were looking at the Rams and what they do, right? And how they push all the chips to the middle. Guess what? Just simply by extending George Pickens, being able to give him a signing bonus and spread his money out over seasons, not only do you get yourself younger for the long haul in that room, you give Dak further support, but guess what? You shrink that cap that he is demanding right now because he's tagged. So guess what? That frees you up because that gives you more money to be able to go out and get more assistance elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say right now. It's not about which side is right, which side is wrong. I'm on the Cowboy side. I'm on the side of 6.
Yeah.
And guess what? When you remove these restrictions from yourself and stop taking late fees, that's how you make it better for you to get what it is that you need.
Yeah. It's incredible. But we all know that that's not going to happen. So it is. It's just like right now, while you saying that, my mind is saying July 15th is tomorrow. I wonder how many times have a phone call been made between Jerry, Steve, and Dave Mulligan. Even if one time. So I these are the questions you just gotta ask.
I'd love to see that call ID.
Yeah, I'm like, have you really made the attempt? I mean, really. Or your mind was already set before the season ended that you knew you were gonna pay George Pickens the franchise tag anyway. That's what it's gonna boil down to. That's really all I need to know. Have there been any attempts between the Jones and George Pickens agent about coming to a resolution about a extension? I really would love to know that. I already put in my mind that they're not gonna do it anyway. But I wonder if there even been a phone call made. And I'm quite sure that question is gonna be asked when training camp begins. I'm quite sure. But if you want to go cryptic, it's not a coincidence that Amp just brought up George Pickens put up that Pittsburgh Steelers uniform and all that type of stuff.
Who over there?
It's exactly. But not only that, It could mean this, Amp, because that's why he put it out there. It could mean you about to get the Pittsburgh George Pickens this season. Could mean that too. So whatever that means, you may not get the Dallas George Pickens from last year. You might get the one that might have a little attitude problem or something like that, or a half effort, or he don't run his routes, or
I don't know. Maybe a lighter version. Maybe he changing jersey numbers. I don't know.
It could be all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, it's all of this comes up if there ain't been an effort. I mean, how George Pickens gonna feel if there ain't been an effort to make a call? When y'all done said deadlines make deals, and you ain't tried to meet me at the deadline.
That part.
Now, how you think George gonna feel?
That part.
That God dang. I mean, y'all really ain't really trying. You know what I'm saying?
I did this for y'all.
Yeah.
And this the thing.
It's not even it don't take but a few. Look at look. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 seconds to make a call, Doc.
Yeah.
Even if there's no resolution,
honestly, it don't even take that long. Siri, call Jerry Jones.
But there you go. Seriously, I'm saying I would almost have a bet and say that they haven't even picked up the phone to talk to this dude yet. I believe it.
They have not called Tyrone.
They have not called Tyrone. And it is a shame. At least call and say, well, we can't do that.
Call him.
Yeah, I'm saying at least when you get up and the press asks you about it, you say, hey, we tried to talk and we just couldn't get to where we need to get to. Yeah. But if you haven't made the call at all, it's gonna light up Cowboy Nation.
What the commercial say? I know it's a national one. One call, that's all. Sometimes that's all it takes. You got to make the call though. But again, you can't let that ego. You can't let that be a barrier or a deterrent. See, that's the problem. And honestly, I might get a little trouble for this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Even in the content world, there is an issue with humbleness.
Yeah.
Sometimes folks just don't want to humble themselves. It's all about being the dog, the alpha, you know what I'm saying? Head buster. And sometimes it's cool to just humble yourself and say, you know what? I'll reach out.
Yeah.
He ain't got to call me. I'll call him.
Crazy.
And guess what? As men, people, and individuals, a lot of times that's us.
Yeah.
You know, I just dealt with it recently with family, you know. Family who I had issue with for a few years now, and I was in no wrong whatsoever. You know, this is just something personal that this individual witnessed and was like, oh, if it was me, I wouldn't do that. I don't like this. Nothing I did to this individual.
Yeah.
And stop speaking to me completely because of how I handled a situation in my house.
Yeah.
Nobody was hurt or injured, nothing like that. Nobody was disrespected or nothing like that. And you were just looking for an opportunity to say, I ain't talking to you no more. If you just don't want to talk to me no more, just say that.
Yeah.
But even with that treatment, I was about to, I did. Because at one point I said, I ain't even speaking to said individual at all, right?
Yeah.
And more recently in a family gathering, I said, hey, how you doing, sister? Hey. I felt the heat come off just a hey.
Wow.
And I right then and there I said, you know what? Scripture tell us to knock the dust off our feet and keep it moving, right?
Yeah.
That's what I had to do.
Yeah, no
choice. But I was man enough to humble myself for a second.
Yeah.
To just greet that individual. Sometimes all it takes is a call. Jerry, do you have it in you, bro? And I said it and I didn't say it, but I'm gonna put it right. I'm gonna say it and I'm gonna type it in the chat. We right now have exactly 24 hours. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Hashtag push for Pickens.
I like it.
Push for Pickens.
I'm gonna
He's
type
a
that
dog. I
in.
recognize him as a dog. Hashtag push for Pickens. If you got another creative way of saying it, you can do it however you feel you want to do it. But for me, I'm gonna just say hashtag push for Pickens. Because again, it ain't just about Pickens. It's what pushing for Pickens can do for the rest of your team.
The
It's the
morale,
byproduct.
man.
We're talking about positive byproducts, not the
Yeah,
negative byproducts that we talked about and alluded to earlier. Positivity. When you positively push for Pickens, then guess what? That helps you get other ammo to load the clip further to
yeah,
go against those 10 teams that we talked about and the rest of the schedule just a few minutes ago.
yeah. It's crazy, man. Um, that's where every eye should be. I think we done forgot about it because ain't too many people talking about it. So I believe that's gonna be the big thing now that we'll be kind of watching the clock now to see if George will be signed. So it is going to be interesting in these next 24 hours. I think we done. We did a great job. Listen, I want to give
Did
my
it, man.
final word. We had a great show as always. Amp and I are uh, the type that we don't need much of a production show. We just fall right in and let the magic happen from that point on. And once again, we did it again. So for those that do not know me, Big Time Show, that little sign right above my head there, you'll find that on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. Well, it's not Twitch. Twitch is something else, but Big Time _ but don't worry about that one. I'm on TikTok now. I'm on Twitter as well, X. You can find me there at the Big Time Show. Find my face, and you know you're on the right channel. Appreciate all you guys. Appreciate earlier about all the testimonies that we had.
Yeah,
That
Testimony
was just
Tuesday.
great. Still praying for Brian and his recovery. Praying for Michael Cook and his mother in her battle with cancer. Now, knowing that God is a healer, He does heal. No question about that. And so we're praying for that. And listen, what we did not ask for is for those of you, and I guess I'm not messing my own self up. As you leave, you have the cash apps there. Amps is right there. $ amped, AMPD Sports. That's with a Z. And then mine is $ the Big Time Show. We don't beg for all that, but if you want to patronize us that way, you can. You see it, the Cash App right there for you. Matter of fact, it's on the ticker right there. It's good. It's on the ticker as well.
Whoop,
We
there
got
it
it going
is.
right there. There the Amp Cash App. There it is. $ Amp D Sports. That's where the channels you can find him. But listen, again, thank you guys for coming hanging with us, spending a little time with us this afternoon. You're gonna see a lot more of it as we get closer now to training camp. It's almost here, y'all. When we started with this training camp, we going all the way to February. So it's almost that time. We cracking it up, getting it ready for you. Appreciate you guys. Y'all come see me. Listen, when you join and subscribe to our channels, turn on that notification button. Hit that bell button so that way when we go live, it'll come straight to your phone or wherever device you have. And that way you can check us out. All right. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. Give it to you, Amp. Shut us down, bro.
Man, y'all know it is always a pleasure working with Big Time, man. It we look like Tony Braxton, man. We let it flow.
Let it flow.
We let it flow and we let it fly. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it presents a beautiful product because it's natural, it's organic. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing staged or anything like that. It's raw, it's real, it's authentic. You know, and again, at the end of the day, we just trying to improve the squad. That's the ultimate goal. Cause we both would call ourselves diehards. You know, I don't think
Yeah.
that's a far statement. And at the end
No.
of the day, we just want to see six. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And that's really by any means necessary, but we want them to be smart about the necessary.
Yeah.
You all heard me say it before. I talked about the importance of it during the stream. Good, better, best. It can, Lord have mercy. It can be applied to so many different ways,
Yeah.
personal life, spiritual life, work life, physical fitness life,
Mm.
your household. It could be applied so many ways. But that's what we want for this squad. We want good, better, best. Never let it rest
Yeah.
until your good becomes your better and your better becomes your best. Until next time, Cowboys Nation,
I'm with you, Amp.
y'all be blessed.
Ah.
Yes, sir.